Yo, what's going down, Green Screen Entertainment fans? Your homie Jay Green back with yet another review, and right now I'm about to break y'all up with my knowledge on the brand new movie Devotion. Now, this movie stars Jonathan Majors, Glenn Powell, aka Hangman, and it was directed by J.D. Dillard, the guy that you might know from the movie that came out back in 2016, Slight. Now, for those of y'all out there who have no idea what this film Devotion is all about, we're basically following Jesse Brown, one of the first African-American U.S. Navy pilots. Him and his wingmen basically going behind enemy lines, doing some big things during the Korean World War. Now, that's pretty much what Devotion is on the surface, but beneath the surface, this movie is intimate, it's emotional, it's an adventure, and it's definitely a true testament to not just like the classic band of brotherhood that you would get in a military film, but it's a true testament to human spirit. How far is somebody willing to go for themselves, for someone next to them in the military, right? Sports, whatever it may be. A husband for his wife, for his child. How far is someone else willing to go for their friend, someone that they just met, someone who's a different race during a time where people of a different color, a different texture got treated a very different way. This movie showcases and gives us all of that emotion, all of that journey without actually kind of slapping us in the face with it. Some movies slap you in the face with that type of thing. You leave feeling like, wow, we really learned a lot. We really saw a lot. You get those touches in this film placed perfectly. So then that way, when their relationship truly blossoms, you understand devotion and what this movie is truly about. Now, one thing that I want to talk about other than the story and what it maybe means under the surface and what I got from it is J.D. Dillard, the director. This guy killed it with this film. Yes, these probably aren't real planes doing real aerial stunts and all that like Top Gun Maverick. That's all good. That's a completely different vibe and feeling. And the cinematography, man, let me tell you, the cinematography for this film truly lends itself to the dramatic elements and the emotional elements that these characters are going through, paired with the score. Now, I usually don't bring up score too much in any of my reviews, unless it's like maybe like a Hans Zimmer type situation, but this chick, Shonda Dancy, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but Shonda Dancy kills it. I swear to you, not since like Inception, Interstellar, I'm a Hans Zimmer fanboy for real, but not since like Inception, Interstellar, maybe even Dunkirk at times, certain films like this that Hans Zimmer has done, The Rock back in the day, do I get so amped up in an action scene or a highly dramatic, sad moment in a film. But the way that this music plays out through some of these battle sequences, and then it can be on a lighthearted moment or a moment where someone's getting some type of bad news. Shit, I'm like right the F there with how the movie looks and the direction choices. And then the music just broke my fucking heart. Phenomenal. Now, as I said a while back in my review for All Quiet on the Western Front, when you're getting a battle type movie or a movie set in a time where there's a war or some type of battle going on as the main backdrop, you kind of know what to expect. We're going to get involved with some of these characters. We're going to like some of them. Some of them are going to get killed or die in battle, whatever it may be. We're kind of on that roller coaster ride, right? With this film, because it's based on a true story, sometimes I find the true stories a little bit more than the films that are made up about war, because in the ones that are made up about war, they give us characters that we want to root for, and then they're going to take them away, and that's what kind of makes that movie very impactful. Whereas with this film, not all the time, yes, people die in war for reals, but not all the time do all of the characters that we happen to be following, are they the ones that end up leaving us. This movie kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat with what's going to go on unless you know the history of it. So for me, who does not know the history of it and never heard about this guy whatsoever growing up, right? This movie kept me on the edge of my seat all the way to the end, but it really wasn't even about who lives or who dies. Again, this movie is about the devotion and the relationship between these two pilots, and that's where it excels, and that's where it was so impactful to me. But in this movie, I ain't gonna lie, I was balling, boy.
Stop being a bitch and come on.
Now, the last couple of things I'm going to give you about this film is going to be a little bit of the direction choice and the acting. There's some things in this film that jump off that tell a big story to how our main character, Jesse Brown, feels about what he's doing, where he's at, and who he's dealing with. But when these things that are a big deal in his life happen, and maybe somebody else or other people around him need to understand what's jumping off, to understand how he is and why he is the way that he is. These things are so subtle, yet in your face. And it's hard to explain without spoiling it, and I'm not going to do that, okay? You need to go see this. I give all props and credit to the direction of this film by J.D. Dillard, because it's not easy to put something so in your face and so there, but make it so subtle and play in the background at the same damn time. And big ups to Glenn Powell, because if he did not bring it with his A++ game playing this role, we might not believe the true devotion that he has for his friend and the back and forth of him trying to understand his perspective and why are things this way for you, and making it not so like silly. Because sometimes we have seen movies where you have the white guy understanding what the black guy is going through in one way or another, but it's a lot more outlandish than maybe it really would be in real life. And this movie was so, realistic and so personal and so quiet and calm, but yet so loud and in your face at the time with everything jumping off. So it was a really interesting way that the director was able to balance everything and make it just work seamlessly. Perfection. Also, big ups to Jonathan Majors. This man is having a hell of a couple of years. Between Lovecraft Country, he's now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's about to be in Creed 3, and trust me, it looked like he's about to mop Michael B. Jordan's ass in that ring, and he's acting his ass off in this movie. Like, my God. So with all that said, I don't want to break down too much more of this film. Just know that it's a phenomenal film, looks amazing, sounds wonderful. All the cast, main characters and supporting characters are on point, and you will not be disappointed when you go see this on a big ass screen, because it's worth all that. Yo, I hope I gave you a little bit of insight, a little bit of knowledge of what this film is all about. If you've seen it, comment below. Let me know if you agree with my review. If you don't agree, that's okay. Let's chop it up. Let's have some discourse, I think it's called, right? Other than that, do your homie a huge ass favor. Like, subscribe. Your boy, I'm out.